I'm going to read the Adventure of Huck in Chapter 5. I shut the door too. Then I turned around and there were Hugo. I used to be scared of him all the time. He tanned me so much. I reckon I was scared now too, but in a minute I'd say I was mistaken. After the first jar, as you may say, when my breath sore or itched, leaving so unexpected about right away after I said I wasn't scared of him, so what's bothering about? He was almost 50, and he looked it. His hair was long and tangled and greasy, and hung down, and you could see his eyes shining through like it was behind vines. It was all black, in a way, so with his long mixed-up whiskers. There, one Nicola in his face, where his face showed, it was white, like another man's white, but a white to make a body shake, a white to make a body flesh cold, tree-toe white, the fish belly white, as for his clothes, just rags. And that was all. He had one ankle resting on the other knee, the boot on that foot was busted and two of his toes stuck through. And he worked them now and then, and his hat was raining on the floor, and all black clothes with the top caved into like a lid. I stood looking at him. He sat there looking at me. With his chair to the back a little, I set the candle down, and now the window was up, and so he had it blown. By the shell, he kept looking over. By and by says, "Stretch girls, Barry. You think you are a good deal of the big bug, don't you?" "Maybe I am, maybe I aren't," I said. "Don't you give me none of your lip," says he. "You put on considerable many freeze, since I have no way. I'll take you down a peg before I get down with you. You're educated, too? They say it can read and write. So you think you're better than your father, no, don't you? Because you can't. I'll take it out of you, and who told you might melt with such as that? It's foolishness, yeah? Who told you it's good? The widow, she told me. The widow, hey? And stuck with all the widows, then she could, and footing her shovel about a thing that ain't none of her business. Nobody never told her. Well, I learned her how to meddle, and look here, so you dropped a school, you hear. I learned to bring up a boy to put on airs and of his own, the father, and let on to be better than what he is, and you lambs, because she is fooling around with the school again. You hear your mothers couldn't read, and she couldn't write. Mother. Before she died, none of the families couldn't beat her. They died. I can't. And here you are, swelling, you sat up like this, I ain't the man to stand it. You hear say, learn here you letter. I took over a book and began something about General Washington and the wars. When I'd led about half a minute, he patched the book, whacked with his hand, and knocked it across the house, he said. So, you can do it. I had my doubt when he told me, now, look here, you stop that freedom first. I won't have it. And I'll lay for you my money, then if I catch you about the school, I'll tell you good, and first you know it, you'll get listen to. I never see such your son. He took up a little blue and the yellows, the picture of some cows and boy, and says, this, something they, with learning my lesson good. He tore it up and says, I give you something better. I give you a cowhide. He sat there mumbling and growling a minute, and he says, ain't it sweet? The sounds dandy, the dog on the bed, and then bad clothes, and a looking glass, and a piece of the carpet on the floor, and your own father got to sleep with a hole in the tenure, and I was such a son. I bet I'll take some of these freeze out on you, and before I am done with you. Where Anne went to your heirs. They say you're rich. Hey, how's that? They lie, that's how. But look here, mind how you talk to me, and I'm abstaining about all I can say now, so don't give me no sass. I'll be in town today, and I hadn't heard nothing about you to being rich. I heard about it way down the river too. That's why I come. You give me that money tomorrow, I want it. I ain't got no money. That's right, George. That's just got it till you get it. I want it. I ain't got no money. I tell you, you ask George Thatcher's that he tell you the same. Alright, I'll ask him so. I'll make him the punctual. I know the reason why. Say, how much you got in your pocket? I want it. I ain't got all your dollars, and I want that too. It don't make no difference. When you want it further, you just shut it out. They took hands to see if it was good, and then he said he was going downtown to get some whiskey. I said that he hadn't had a drink all day. So when he had got out on the shed and he put his head in again, and cussed me for putting on freeze and trying to be better than him. And when I like on, he was gone. He come back and to put his head in again and told me to mind about that school because it was going to late for me and licked me if I didn't drop that. Next day he was drunk, and then he went to church and Duchess and the bully legged him and tried to make him give up the money, but he couldn't. And then he swore he'd make the law force him. The judge and the widows went to go to get the court to take me away from him and let one of them to be my guardian, but it was in New Jersey that he had just come and he didn't know the old man, and so he thought his Culbertson mustn't interfere and separate the families. If they could have this, sir, he Drescher. Not take a child away from his bar, so Judge Thatcher and the widows had to put on the business. The trees, the old man till he couldn't rest and started to call at me till I would brag and blue if I didn't raise some money for him. About $3 from Judge Thatcher and the pap to getting got drunk, and when the blowing so loud and the coughing and the hooting and carrying on, and he kept it up the whole of town with a thin pan till almost midnight. They jailed him, and the next day they had him to good court and jailed him again for a week. And but he said he was satisfied. That was voice of his son, and he'd make it warm for him. When he got out, the new judge said he was going to make a man of him. So he took him to his own house and dressed him up to clean nice. I had him to breakfast and dinner and supper and with the family, and was just the old pie to him, so to speak. And after supper, and he talked to him about temperance and such things. The old man cried and said that he'd been a fool and a fool of his life, but now he was going to turn over a new leaf and be a man nobody should be ashamed of. He hoped the judge would help him and not look down on him. The judge said that he could hurt him for Dan's word, and so he cried, and his wife, then she cried again, and Pap said that he'd been a man that had always been misunderstood before, and the judge said that he believed it. The old man said that what a man wanted, that was downward sympathy, and the judge said it was so, and so they cried again. And when it was about time, the old man rose up and held out his hand and said, "Look at it, gentlemen and ladies, souls. Take a hold of it and shake it," and there's hand and was the hand of the heart. But it ain't so no more. It's the hand of man that started new life. And all dies before they go back. And you mark them words. That's what I said, that is clean hand now. Shake it, don't be afraid. So they shook it one after the other, and all around, and cried the judge's wife, she kissed it, and the old man he signed with the flesh, with his mark, and the judge said it was the holiest time on record, or something like that. Then they took and the old man into a beautiful room, which was a spare room, and in the night sometimes she got far for first and clumped out onto the porch group to slid up stanchions, tracing me thought for Judge out for it lot, and I climbed back again and had a good old time. And towards daylight and tore out again, drunk as a fiddler, and rolled off the porch and broke his left arm into pieces. And was most supposed to just then when somebody found himself to shut up. When they come to look at the films, they had to take soundings then. People they couldn't navigate it. The judge felt kind of sorrow. He said it's like on the body could reform the old man with a shotgun. Maybe he didn't know no other way. But fun. A drunken man. Old man who teased the Huck.